Hi guys, welcome back to our city break guides. Next up is the beautiful city of Innsbruck. We're going to walk you through everything you need to know, from what weather to expect during a visit, some of the main attractions not to miss, and even some ideas on some of the day trips outside of the city. So feel free to leave a comment with any questions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future uploads. The airport is only a few miles away from the city centre. It's a Category C airport, which means pilots need special training to land there. Essentially, if you think of the terrain, it's in the middle of a valley, so it makes it quite a tricky airport to fly in and out from. There are two main options to get to the city, which are bus and taxi. Given the close proximity of the airport to the city, both will only take 15 minutes to get you to your destination, with the bus costing a few euros and a taxi costing more like 13. Innsbruck as a city isn't really big enough for its own metro network, but it does have a very efficient tram network. The city again though is quite small, so it's unlikely most tourists are going to need to use it. It's worth noting though that the two southern lines, Line 6 and the regional Green Line, are touted as tourist trams, and they head into the mountains and the rural outskirts of Innsbruck, and the scenery and pretty villages they pass makes for a nice day out. So we were really impressed with Innsbruck and how much there was to do there. We stayed for a few days and we managed to see quite a lot, so here's a run through of all of our highlights and what not to miss during your stay there. The colourful houses of Innsbruck are probably the most iconic sight of the city, and it's difficult to go without getting a picture. You'll find them by the River Inn. On the other side of the river there's a big food market, it's called Market Hall. It's a big open space, lots of cafes. It's a really nice place to have a seat, have a drink and take in that lovely view. An extension of the Innsbruck Old City Hall, pretty much in the centre of town and built in the 1400s. It's the best place to get a view of the city and the surrounding mountains. It's 148 steps high, but don't let that put you off, as even my 4-year-old daughter managed it, and the view is well worth the effort of getting up there. Innsbruck's quite a unique city because it's surrounded by mountains, so there are plenty of places within the city to get a great view of it, but there are a few better than at their famous ski jump. Still very much an active ski jump venue. It was built in 1925, hosted Olympic competitions in the 60s and 70s, and had a modern refurb at the turn of the millennium. When you arrive, you can either brave the 500 steps to get you up to the top viewing platform, or you can use the 2 lifts that will get you up there in a couple of minutes. Expect to pay 10 euros for an adult, 5 euros for children between 6 and 14, and under 6 are free. There aren't many cities we visit when we don't use their hop-on hop-off bus service, if there is one, and Innsbruck does have one, and it's very good. 18 stops in total and takes you through the city centre and past almost 30 attractions, and lasts for about an hour and a half in total. Cost is currently 17 euros per adult, 11 euros for children between 6 and 15, and free for children under 5. So this is the #1 tourist attraction in Innsbruck. The views at the top are absolutely spectacular. You've got to take a couple of cable cars up there. The whole journey is pretty easy. From top to bottom, it takes about 30 minutes. As you can see, you'll start at Congress and take a funicular across to Hungerberg, which is a cute little mountainside settlement with some nice restaurants and cafes. A short walk across to the cable car station that will whisk you up to Seagrub before taking another car up to the top at Haflicka. Adult tickets cost about 38 euros and children between 6 and 15 will cost 23 euros and under 6 are free. We don't generally tend to do many tourist cards when we travel, but the Innsbruck tourist card is a bit of a no-brainer if you plan on doing quite a few of these attractions. Everything we cover in this video and more is included in the cost of the card, even the public transport, and it costs 55 euros for an adult and 27.5 euros for a child between 6 and 15. So again, even if you plan on doing a few of these attractions, pop into the Central Tourist Information Centre and pick them up from there. Whenever we visit any city, particularly in Europe, we're always quite keen to get the map out and work out if there are any other towns or cities quite close by that we could take in as part of our holiday as well. It's worth noting that Salzburg is only a couple of hours by car or train, and we did this city in a day some years ago during a weekend break to Vienna. Famous for Mozart and the Sound of Music, there's plenty to keep you busy. Munich lies to the north of Innsbruck and will again take just 2 hours to get there by car or train, or you could head west to the 4th smallest country in Europe, Liechtenstein, which again is just a 2-hour drive away. There's no train connection from Innsbruck to Liechtenstein, and the drive itself is quite boring, but it's a fascinating little country to visit and you can easily do it in a day. Their capital city is actually a village, it's called Vaduz, very easy to explore, especially if you fancied a day trip out of Innsbruck. The South Tyrol region is one of the largest apple producing regions in the EU, so don't be surprised to see apples as the core ingredient in many of the Innsbruck dishes. We travel young kids who appreciate the struggle sometimes in finding things to do that keeps them amused. In Innsbruck, we'd recommend checking out the Alpen Zoo and Audioversum Science Centre, both again included in the Innsbruck card. The Alpen Zoo is a lovely little zoo that specialises in species of animals native to the Alps and also has a very big aquarium. Without the Innsbruck card, it's €12 for an adult, €6 for children between 6 and 15, and a small charge for children between 4 and 5, with under 4s being free. For those of you looking to take in the Innsbruck cable car that we mentioned earlier, you should think about doing this attraction on the same day, as it's en route and you simply get off at the Hungerberg station Alpen Zoo, and once finished at the zoo you can jump back on the train and carry on your journey up the mountain. The Science Museum is aimed at children and has a few funny and interesting exhibits that kept our two amused for an hour, again including the Innsbruck card, or €9 an adult, and children between 6 and 15 are €5.50 and under 6 are free. So that's what to expect from Austria's 5th largest city. Hope you enjoyed it. Those of you new to our channel, we regularly post content on here to give you inspiration and help you plan your next getaway, so feel free to subscribe. Obviously leave a comment with any questions, and if you are heading off to Innsbruck soon, enjoy your holiday.